What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Gakis, and today we are going to be showcasing one of the best, one of the most important brand new weapons added to Destiny 2 within the Edge of Fate expansion. And you absolutely want to be getting a good roll, and if possible, a God roll for this weapon as quickly as possible, because it is so relevant in important end game content. And so, let's get started. Now, the weapon in question is going to be a one-of-a-kind weapon. There's nothing else like this in Destiny 2, and that's because it is the Mint Retrograde Pulse Rifle, guys. This is the first ever rocket-assisted frame pulse rifle. So it is in the special weapon category, and although it looks like it has a very small magazine, very limited amount of ammo, every time you expend one ammo, you shoot 3 explosive projectiles. So this weapon actually packs a lot more firepower than it may initially appear when you first get it. Now, very importantly, when this weapon came out, a lot of people made a big mistake assessing its capabilities. Some of you watching may still be making this mistake, and that mistake is that you're just treating this like a rocket-assisted frame sidearm, right? You are mainly ad clearing, you are looking for perks that assist with ad clearing. Initially, when I got my first Mint Retrograde that I kept, it was one with chain reaction. Final blows with this weapon create an elemental damage explosion. Now, why did I do that? Well, a rocket-assisted frame sidearm is mainly meant for ad clearing. It can deal with some more powerful enemies, some yellow bars for sure, but like if we got a rocket assisted frame sidearm with chain reaction, oh, we'd all be freaking out about that. We'd think that's incredible, right? Because again, the main role is ad clearing. But with the Mint Retrograde, that's actually not the case. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's not the only case. The Mint Retrograde is still unbelievably good at ad clearing, but it is also literally god tier at DPS output. This is the most shocking thing. This is what makes this weapon so desirable. So I have a test to show you guys within the firing range. I have my Mint Retrograde here. This is the best roll I've gotten. We're going to talk about, God rolls in a second here, but I have, first of all, rewind rounds. When this weapon's magazine is empty, it refills from reserves based on the number of hits. Most weapons will refill about half of their magazine, and then you shoot that half, it does another half of that. But because you're shooting 3 projectiles per ammo, you just get your entire magazine back, guys. Like, I have a 6-round magazine because, again, I'm actually getting so many hits with those 6 rounds, I just get 6 rounds back. So yeah, rewind rounds is crazy with the Mint Retrograde. And combined with that, I also have elemental honing. I'm coming around on this perk, guys. This is something that I personally underrated. It says dealing unique elemental damage grants this weapon a stacking damage bonus. This bonus is increased for kinetic weapons. So basically, this is a strand weapon. So when I shoot any enemy, I get elemental honing times 1. So I get a small damage boost. To be precise, it's 5%, but if I was to throw an arc grenade at that enemy beforehand, I would have times 2, which is 10%, and it goes all the way up to 35% more damage with times 5 if you damage an enemy with all 5 different elements. But again, the source can be whatever, grenades, other weapons, melees, so you can actually have a lot of different ways to inflict elemental damage to get elemental honing up there pretty darn high, guys. And then the origin trait is also god tier. It's called Problem Solver, and it says dealing sustained damage to champion, mini-boss, or boss combatants, exhaust them, which is going to make them deal less outgoing damage. So you're DPSing a boss, you'll see how much damage you can actually do, but you're also making that boss do less damage to you. Problem Solver is a unique origin trait to Pinnacle Ops weapons, guys. So yes, if you want to farm the Mint Retrograde, you have to farm Pinnacle Ops. So when I take this weapon and I'm just going to shoot this dummy, you can see I actually do have the capability of dealing headshots. So You are going to want to be somewhat accurate with this weapon. Yes, it can be a bit more difficult to get headshots because the projectiles do have a bit of a movement speed, but what kind of damage are we dealing? Well, just shooting this thing normally, elemental honing ×1. We are not doing anything special whatsoever. I'm going to expend all the ammo I have here. Overall, I deal 36,710 damage with like 2,000 damage per second, guys. Let's compare that to another DPS monster, the Supremacy Snipe Rifle with rewind rounds again and then kinetic tremors. This thing is crazy. It's a rapid fire frame sniper rifle. It has long been used to DPS the crap out of stuff. So I shoot every single round I have, lay into this target dummy, guys, and with that, I dealt 40,300 damage with 2,600 DPS. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's better. I'm making a whole video on the Mint Retrograde and I just embarrassed myself in the DPS test. You know, what's this clown doing? You know, but hold on a second, guys. That was with elemental honing ×1. So now I'm going to do that test again, and all I'm going to do is increase elemental honing by shooting one shot from my stasis machine gun and my void scout rifle into the target dummy before I start DPSing with the Mint Retrograde. So I do that, I get elemental honing. By the way, you get like 20 seconds of elemental honing. It lasts incredibly long here, guys. It's not even enhanced. And now with elemental honing ×3, keep in mind, it can go up to ×5. It's not even at its best. I just dealt 43, almost 44,000 damage with, again, 2,000 DPS. So the DPS overall, not quite as good because I had to do a little setup, but the overall damage output is more than a Supremacy Snipe Rifle with kinetic tremors going buck wild with every single round it has. And this is the crazy part, guys. Again, it's ×3 elemental honing. I could have gone to ×5. I could have done this even better, but that's not the point. The point is that the DPS output with the Mint Retrograde is comparable to a pure DPS, crazy DPS, one of the best DPS snipers in the entire game. And so that means you have this weapon that is a rocket-assisted frame weapon that is unbelievably good at ad clearing. I mean, you're going to see in the background gameplay, you have a bunch of ads, you just, wipe your sights across the screen, you spread those 3 rounds of a burst out, and each round is going to devastate a red bar ad, right? So it's already insane at ad clearing. It's already insane against yellow bars, but it also has literally top tier DPS output against bosses and can also exhaust them to help your entire team. It's the perfect weapon. It does everything you want. It's the perfect weapon. It's incredible at ad clearing, and the damage output is genuinely astounding. And so that is why this weapon is so good. It's so desirable because you have everything you want in a special weapon. Not to mention, this thing is just so ammo efficient. Again, one single ammo is a 3-round burst. This 3-round burst is so devastating that when you are running stuff like scavengers, when you are speccing into ammo generation, you're going to be getting enough special, especially, special ammo finishers. You're going to be getting so much special that you can basically run this as a primary, and you're going to be constantly refilling itself, especially if you have over 100 weapons and you start getting the bigger bricks of ammo. Guys, you pick up a brick, you get like 5 rounds. 5 rounds is 5 bursts. Oh, so you're basically getting, what is that? 5 × 3, 15 rounds of Mint Retrograde, just absolutely cooking. It is crazy, guys. So that is why this weapon is so good. In terms of what you should get, I think you absolutely want to spec into the damage output. So in that left column, guys, you want rewind rounds like I have. Again, unbelievably good with this weapon because of how the hits are registered and they don't cost full ammo. You get your entire magazine back. Or you can also get Envious Arsenal. So dealing damage with your other weapons will reload this weapon. So kind of good for, in the right column, the first thing you're looking for is elemental honing. I showed it off here. It's incredibly good. Again, if you're going through the process to trigger elemental honing, you're also going to be reloading your weapon with Envious Arsenal. Or in the right column, you can also get bait and switch, where damaging a target with all of your weapons gives you a 30% damage increase. So maybe a bit less complicated than elemental honing, also offering a huge damage increase. And so overall, I think the two best possible rolls are in the left column, you want rewind rounds, and you want to combine that with, honestly, either bait and switch or elemental honing, or you want to go for just the Envious Arsenal plus bait and switch roll, because those two perks are very synergistic, right? Like, you're going to be switching through your weapons to reload your weapon and to re-trigger bait and switch. Either of those rolls are what you want, because both of them are going to play into, again, the max DPS roll, because you're now going to have this weapon that's just on a base level, just by itself. If it has a dog water roll, it's still going to be unreal at killing ads, but then if you get that DPS roll, you also have that insane damage capability. And so, you know, people are using this thing in the raid for just DPS because it does so much damage. And also, especially, we used it quite a bit when we started to put the feats on the raid, and we put the battalion feat, where you now have way more yellow bars and you have a Bane wyverns coming at you. As you can see, man, this thing just cooks them. Like, and I mean cooks. Like, with the Mint Retrograde, you are deleting these, frankly, mini boss wyverns that are a huge problem if you're not using the Mint Retrograde. So, such a fantastic weapon. Farm it from Pinnacle Ops. Those are the rolls you want to get. Go the DPS-oriented route, because you can't ignore how much damage this thing is doing. Guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCactus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.